Well, guys, if ever you needed proof that these political tosspots live in their own world, this one should help you with that. I mean, just take a look at this headline here that says ditching net zero would be electoral suicide for Conservatives. Yeah, imagine writing that and being serious about it, like this pillock clearly is. Unless, of course, he's warning MPs that the climate lobby will get you deselected from the party if you stop the net zero gravy train in its tracks. That is also possible, but doing it publicly likely won't help you too much, I've gotta say. Now, yes, he is a paid for puppet pushing the agenda we know, but that still doesn't make it any less demented in my mind with what he's doing here. This I say because if there's one thing that Tory voters hate right now, it's the net zero tripe, I've got to say. In fact, I'd actually say it's not far off illegal immigration for Conservative voters because many rightly see it for the taxpayer con job that it is. Obviously, this unelected wet wipe that is Lord Goldsmith or whatever the hell he's called now has some vested interest in the net zero tripe, which you should all know. And being good friends with Boris Johnson's eco cum bucket, it really don't surprise me that he's coming out with this now. But like I said, it ain't helping the Conservatives' cause, and it likely never will. In fact, there are well over 1,100 comments on this article right now telling this snivelling shitweasel that net zero will leave the Tories in the political wilderness for them. They're either telling them that none of them want it, or as I said, that it's a straight up con job and nothing more. This should be obvious to anyone because net zero was never a big deal for the public, even with the media pumping out propaganda relating to it like 24 hours a day. In 2019, the Tories had public support to deal with Brexit and immigration while stopping the woke tribe that's been infecting this country. It certainly weren't about net zero, let me tell ya. Now, of course, it didn't go that way, but net zero was never on the minds of any voters that I can remember, so binning it all should be the Tories' first move, and their only one, I've gotta say. Now, obviously, they won't do that because there's an agenda to push, even if we all know it's bollocks and likely so do they. Naturally, though, this idiot ignores the fact that Conservative voters actually want a small state which puts net zero out of the question completely since it requires massive taxpayer subsidies to start it up and run, as many of you know. After all, this is why your energy bills have green levy nonsense on them, helping to raise the prices that he claims net zero lowers. Yep, Zach Goldsmith mentions all that at the start of the article, while also talking about how much money he makes, but you can clearly see he's talking to other rich friends and not us as consumers. Here he writes, energy insecurity and the consequent doubling of energy bills is directly linked to our continued dependence on fossil fuels, a dependence which is also destabilising the climate. Bollocks, the reasons our energy bills keep going up is because of government policy and of course net zero tripe. We don't produce oil anymore like we used to thanks to net zero policies, and we've got shale gas reserves that we won't extract once again thanks to net zero policy. This all goes alongside shutting down power plants and a failure to create more nuclear power plants to move away from coal and gas like they want to. So yeah, he's talking pure bollocks there, I think we all know. Here, though, he goes on with a little bit more and says, like I said, that this is not for us. He says the answer is to accelerate the transition to clean green energy, which obviously it's not. He said, just look at the numbers. Money invested in energy efficiency provides much larger returns than money invested in new energy capacity, is what he said. Which, yeah, it provides larger returns because it's taxpayer subsidised and they charge you more for it than they did with the coal or gas-fired lot. The larger returns are for the people involved, not the general public like you and me, but obviously he's hoping the peasants just read over that bit and don't actually think about it more than that. These people don't give a toss about you or the climate, obviously, because all they care about is lining their pockets, which should explain why Zach Goldsmith wrote this utter garbage, despite the fact it's going to turn off any Tory voter who actually reads it. In fact, the only reason he really gives for this is protecting some African rainforest, which should tell anyone who reads it what utter bullshit this is. And his only benefit for us was cheaper energy, which we know net zero won't bring because that's not what it's about or what it was designed to do. So yeah, Zach Goldsmith is talking shit, but that's not a surprise really, is it? Unless of course he means it's electoral suicide for MPs not being picked by the parliamentary party like I said earlier. I guess it could be a threat to MPs that him and the net zero lobby will get you kicked out of office should you go against their future plans. I mean, for all we know, Boris said he wanted to pause or stop net zero to get the public back on side, and that's why we're getting this current circus we've got now. But it could also be the fact that the media rates him, have wanted him out since he got in. Either way, though, Zach Goldsmith is full of shit and is obviously just hurting the Tory party with this sort of nonsense. I'm not really complaining though, because of the last 2 years I actually think they're all scum.